This is so fun, guys, isn't it? This is gonna take me like forever to shoot. Okay, here we go. Hello and welcome back. I'm Carissa. We are talking today about money automation, about making your money do different things without you having to take action so that your money is meeting your financial goals without you having to intervene. In this video, I'm going to be referring a bit to a previous video I made with 6 different bank accounts that I think everyone should have and that I use. I would encourage you to watch this video first and then come back to this one if you haven't seen that yet, as many of the accounts I will be talking about in this video, I detail further in that video. I just wanted to start this video off by saying thank you to everyone who has been supporting me by watching these videos or liking or commenting or even subscribing. I started making these YouTube videos just because I wanted a way to talk more about personal finance and have an opportunity and a space to share what I know about personal finance, and it has been really amazing to hear that these videos may actually just be helpful for some people as well. So thank you for supporting me, and I appreciate that continued support. So let's get into my favorite money topic, automation. I'm the kind of person who loves to set plans and has big ideas and big dreams about things, but then sometimes struggles to follow through. So for example, I might get really excited about trying a new diet and I will make this beautiful meal plan and I will put together all the grocery lists and I will buy all the groceries, but then I don't always make all the meals or end up throwing some things away or don't follow through with it. This is often how many people treat personal finance. They have these big ideas, these big dreams to meet these financial goals or to track their spending and get their finances under control. And they get really fired up about it and they want to do something, and then it sort of fizzles off. That is exactly why automation is so cool, and the system I have set up works so well for me. And I think it could work for you too. Chances are, if you're watching this video, maybe you want to improve your financial situation, or maybe you're just interested in this topic for whatever reason. And so you're at a place where you're maybe willing to make some changes, but chances are that might fizzle. That's why automation is so cool, because you can make those changes now while you're fired up, and then when you fizzle, your money will still continue to do what it's supposed to do and still continue to meet your financial goals, even without intervention from you. Some of the tips that I'm going to talk about in this video about automating your finances come from this book called I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. I highly recommend this book. It's amazing. I will leave a link in the description box below so that you can find this book on Amazon if you're interested in purchasing it. While I did base my system on Ramit's automation system he outlines in the book, I will say that I've tweaked it quite a bit to meet my needs, and I would encourage you to do the same. Just as a reminder, I am not a financial expert. I am just sharing in this video what has worked for me. So in the same way that I took the things that I liked from the book and implemented them and left the things that did not work for me, I encourage you to do the same with this video. Take and implement the things that you like, that you really feel like will be beneficial for your system, and leave the things that are not helpful for you. So before I bust out a piece of a paper and start drawing a whole chart for you about how my finances are automated, I want to outline some quick assumptions. The first assumption that I want to share with you is that you are making money monthly, that your salary is a monthly salary, and that you are getting that on the first of the month. That is not everyone's situation. You may be paid twice a month, or you might have more of a variable income. And this system can definitely be adapted for that as well. So let me know if you want to see that in the comments below, and I can create another video about that. The second assumption that I'm going to make in this video is that all of your bills come on the first of the month and can be paid right away at the beginning of the month. I will shoot straight with you. Not all of my bills come at the beginning of the month. Some of them have been really difficult to switch for whatever reason, but the system does work a little bit better if you can get everything out of the way at the beginning of the month. So if you have the opportunity to, call all the different companies up, ask them to switch your billing cycle to the first of the month. And it might be a little bit wonky for the first couple months. You are getting that worked out, but once it comes on the first of the month, regularly and systematically, it will be much easier to run this system with very little interference from you. So those are the 2 assumptions. 1, that you're getting paid on the first of the month, and 2, that all of your bills are also coming on the first of the month. So finally, let's get into it. I am going to grab a sheet of paper and going to draw a little bit for you so that you can see how this system flows and all works together. Okay, so I have my piece of paper and I'm just going to draw a little bit for you while we talk through this video. So the first thing that's going to happen every month is that you will get your salary. There it is, your salary happens once a month. So once you have your salary, there's going to be 2 different places that it's going to go automatically. The first is your 401k retirement account. A 401k is set up through your employer and is really great because oftentimes employers will offer a match for any money you contribute. So for every dollar that you contribute to this account, they will contribute as well $1 to match that up to a certain point. Please make sure that you are contributing as much as possible to meet your employer's match because an employer match is really free money. Please make sure that you are contributing as much as possible to that 401k account in order to get the highest possible match from your employer. If your employer will match up to 3%, make sure that you are sending 3% of your salary to your 401k so you can get that full 3% match. Or if your employer will match up to 5%, make sure that you are contributing 5% so that you're able to get that full 5% match. For me, my employer will match if I contribute up to 5%, and so I do contribute the full 5% to that account, so I'm gonna note that here as well. Can you hear my dog snoring? She's like sleeping. We're just gonna keep going. The next place my money goes after my 401k is my HSA, my health savings account. You can contribute tax-free money to a health savings account and then use it for qualified medical expenses. So I contribute again 5% of my salary to that HSA so that I'm able to use it in the future on qualified medical expenses. Both of these things, the 401k and the HSA, come out before I even see this money. So I never really even miss the money, which is amazing. So after you contribute to your 401k and your HSA, the remainder of the money will go down to your checking account. This is where most of your money is kept before we can automate it out to all of the different places that it needs to go. So from my checking account, there's 3 places that my money will go automatically. The first is over here to my Roth IRA. My Roth IRA is another retirement account that is tax advantaged, and I would encourage you to look into options wherever you are. I personally send 5% to my Roth IRA so that between my 401k, my other retirement account, and my Roth IRA, I'm contributing 10% total of my salary to retirement. Again, if you do not live in the United States and do not have access to a 401k or a Roth IRA, please go ahead and do research about your options in your country so that you are contributing towards your retirement. And then the next thing I will do is pay off any debt that I have. We can talk about debt repayment another time, but hopefully you are contributing at least the minimum on any debts that you have, and ideally are contributing more than the minimum on some or all of the debts so that you are paying them off as fast as possible. Currently, I am contributing 22% of my salary towards debt repayment, and I'm hoping to be done with that by the end of the year and will no longer have to pay off debt. So at the same time I'm contributing to my Roth IRA and paying off debt, I'm also contributing toward my long and short-term savings goals. Some long-term savings goals or savings accounts that I have include a travel account, an account for a house, an account for a wedding someday, and this is also where I keep my emergency fund. I also have some short-term savings accounts, things that I don't need money for every single month, but it's good to be saving money for every single month because they do happen often enough that I can expect them, and they are a little bit more costly than just a couple dollars. So some short-term savings accounts I have include gifts, trips to the vet, haircuts, car maintenance, I think I spelled that word right, and then running shoes. Again, something I don't buy every month, but it's good to be setting aside that money every month. That way, once the time comes to buy that thing, I know that I already have the money set aside and I'm not getting hit with a huge bill then. These long and short-term savings accounts are currently about 15% of my salary, but I recommend just starting with 5% if you don't have any short or long-term savings accounts currently, and decide what's most important for you to start saving towards first. So my savings accounts, both my short and long-term savings accounts, are in an online savings account, and then within that online savings account, I have multiple different accounts or sub-accounts for these different areas. So each of the areas listed are separate accounts so that the money isn't jumbled all up together. It is in separate accounts so that I know the purpose of each dollar in each of those accounts and what they are meant or intended to be used for. So the next place I will send money is towards any miscellaneous bills. These are bills that cannot be paid using a credit card. So some miscellaneous bills that I have that I can't pay with a credit card are rent and my energy bill. Both of these, for whatever reason, won't accept credit cards, and so I have to pay directly using my checking account. I also have a couple bills that other people pay and then I reimburse them for, like my roommate pays for internet and then I pay her back. Because I have so many bills that I can't pay using a credit card, this miscellaneous bills section actually accounts for about 32% of my salary. So at the same time as paying miscellaneous bills, the next thing that I do is I pay my credit card bill in full for the previous month. So some things that I would put on my credit card that I would need to pay off when I pay off my credit card bill would include things like bills that can be put on my credit card, things like Netflix or Hulu, or if you're able to put your internet or your cell phone on your credit card, I would recommend doing that. Other things that I have on my credit card would be things like groceries or gas or dog food or cleaning supplies or hygiene supplies, things like shampoo and conditioner and toothpaste. All those sorts of things I would put right on my credit card and then just pay it off once a month. Things that I put on my credit card usually end up accounting for about 15% of my salary. 45 plus 22, 67. 67 plus 32, 99. Perfect. I'm so bad at math. My mom's gonna see this and be like, wow, she's still really bad at simple math. So after my money goes to all these different places, then whatever's left comes down here to guilt-free spending. If you are looking very closely and crunching my numbers, you will notice that all my percentages do actually add up to 99%, which means there's only 1% of my salary left for guilt-free spending. If you are ever left in a situation where you do not have enough money left for guilt-free spending, yes, you can cut different things in here. I could cut some of my short or long-term savings, or try to cut some of my miscellaneous bills, some of the bills that I put on my credit card, and see if I can make some money back that way. But another way to go about it is to just earn more money. So something that I do is I actually have a little separate way of making money for my guilt-free spending. It's not that exciting, people. I just give plasma. And so I use that money for my guilt-free spending because that works out well for me. Okay, so now let's talk about timing. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I'm assuming that your salary comes in at the beginning of the month and that you're paid just once a month. Automatically, money would be deducted for your 401k and your HSA. That happens for me automatically before I even see my paycheck. So that happens on the 1st or 2nd of the month. I always say 1st or 2nd because I want to give it a day in case it doesn't come through on the 1st of the month. That way I'm not freaking out and assuming it's going to come through on the 1st of the month and then it doesn't. The other thing that's going to happen around the 1st or 2nd of the month is the rest of the money is going to go to your checking account through direct deposit. Again, set that up with your employer if that hasn't happened yet. So I've included these in purple pens so that you can see them a little bit differently, hopefully. From there, the next 3 things that happen are your Roth IRA, your debt repayment, and your short and long-term savings contributions. So my Roth IRA, my debt repayment, and then any short or long-term savings contributions all come out of my checking account for me on the 5th of the month. That gives me a little bit of time if something goes wrong with my direct deposit for me to cancel some of that stuff or change the dates of those transfers. That way, I'm sure that all of the money is there in my checking account and ready to be transferred to those different places. But I also want it to happen at the beginning of the month so that that money comes out right away and I don't use it for something else. And if I didn't say it before, you can set up all of those automatic transfers from those different accounts. So log into your Roth IRA, log into your debt repayment accounts, and log into your savings accounts, and then link them from each of those accounts to your checking account and tell them that they can pull money from your checking account on such and such date. So for me, I log into my savings account and I let it know that on the 5th of the month, it can pull all of the money for all of these different savings accounts that I have. So after I've pulled out the money for my Roth IRA, my debt repayment, and any short and long-term savings goals, then I will pay any miscellaneous bills I have and pay my credit card bill. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I am not great about having all my miscellaneous bills come out on the same day, but ideally I would pay as many of them on the 7th as possible and try to pay as many of them as possible on the 7th. And then the other thing I pay right away on the 7th is my credit card bill from the previous month in full so that I don't have to worry about it anymore. So by the time we've reached the 7th of the month, whatever is left in your checking account could be considered guilt-free spending. So either you could leave that guilt-free spending money in your checking account and just spend on a debit card until you're done spending and it's gone, or you could move it to a different account. You could put that guilt-free spending money on a separate debit account or on a prepaid credit card. That might be one way to do it so that it's separate and harder to access, and once it's gone, it's gone. Okay, I'm realizing that was a little bit hard to see when I was holding it, so I'm just gonna quick talk through it here while you can see it a little bit more close up. So again, I get my salary on the 1st of the month, and then I'm automatically transferring into my 401k and into my health savings account, my HSA, on the 1st or 2nd of the month. After that, all the remaining money will go into my checking account. Again, I leave a little bit of a buffer and plan for that maybe to even go in on the 2nd. That way I'm not scrambling if it doesn't come through on the 1st. From there, the next three things that happen are I contribute money to my Roth IRA, my debt repayment plan, and then any short or long-term savings accounts. All three of those things happen on the 5th of the month. And then after that, I will pay off any miscellaneous bills I might have. And then my credit card bill, I will pay off in full from the previous month on the 7th of the month. After all of those things are taken care of, then whatever is left over in that checking account is guilt-free spending money. Hopefully now that you're looking at it closer up, it will be easier to see the percentages too. Again, these are just my percentages based on what works for me. Definitely adapt your percentages based on your personal situation. Whew! Y'all, that was crazy. That was so much talking. And this video has been so stinking long. I hope that was helpful. That is actually what I do and how I work my money so that I don't have to be constantly going into accounts to write checks or make transfers or get everything sorted or just hope that I won't spend everything in my checking account and I will have money to travel. No, 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 none of that. Once your money goes everywhere it's supposed to go, then by the 7th of the month, whatever's left in your account is good to go. You can spend that however you choose. And so this is a system that works really well for me. I would encourage you to look over your financial system and see what's working for you and what's not, and see if you can incorporate any of these automation strategies so that you are not having to be as hands-on with your money because you're fired up about making changes now, and that's awesome and great. But the reality is that a month from now, 2 months from now, 5 months from now, you are probably not going to still be as jazzed about money, and that's okay. So set the system now so that when you're not as excited about it months from now, you already have it set and your money is already doing what it's supposed to do automatically so that you're meeting your savings goals even if you're sleeping. Okay, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I am assuming that you're getting paid at the beginning of the month and that you're just getting paid once a month. If you are someone who gets paid multiple times a month, maybe on the 1st and the 15th, or you have like a really variable income, let me know if you're interested in hearing how you can adapt this system for you, because it is possible to automate your money even if your system looks a little bit different. Okay, let me know what I missed or if you have any questions, because I have a feeling this is a lot of information and you may have questions or be like, wow, you didn't talk enough about that, or I have a question about that thing. Please let me know in the comments below because I'm happy to answer those questions. Because I use this system, I spend probably like less than an hour a week tracking each of these things and making sure that everything is doing what it's supposed to be doing. I just did my personal finance tracker for the last 2 weeks because I skipped a weekend, and it took me less than an hour to track everything and to just check everything and make sure everything was happening the way it was supposed to, because everything's set up to be so automated. I would highly recommend automating your financial systems so that your money works for you and so that you are not constantly having to stress about it, and so that you're able to meet your richest life goals and any financial or money goals that you have for yourself. If you're interested in seeing more of these videos and hearing how I manage my personal finances and my personal finance systems, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I release new videos every week, and I will see you in the next one. Is this confusing? I have a feeling this is confusing. If you live close to me, let's just get coffee and I'll just tell you, because it feels like that might be easier.